Yes! Yes, boys!
We have just caught probably the rarest big one in the lake.
Got that feeling they're out there. This is prime Kev's end, but no name's been caught from here as well. Oh, see that one? See that one?
Come on, the carp gods.
It is absolutely going off this morning.
I told you it was good luck not to bring scales on the things, you know. We're off. Mark. Hey! Oh, let's just have a look at this fish.
No way!
I could just see it wedged in the weed on the bottom.
That's a big carp, that is.
Yes, boys. Yes.
I'm absolutely speechless. This is what we came to Stoneacres for. What has just happened? Welcome to Stoneacres, where the carp wash 50 yards out. Oh, it's brilliant. Oh, you see that? Please tell me you got that. It's alright here, isn't it? Well, we've only been here 10 minutes. We've seen one definite, and as we came around this corner I saw a massive set of rings out here which I thought might have been one, hence why we stopped and put the kettle on. And yeah, probably been sat here 5 minutes or so. One's just stuck his head out here. Oh, and another one right here. Saw his little pecks and everything. Oh, see that one? See that one? I'm buzzing, mate. I didn't expect this. We've literally been here half an hour, done half a lap, and we've found them already. Probably seen half a dozen shows already this morning, and they're only sort of 50, 60 yards from the bank. Don't even need the boat. Oh, again. Wish I had the kit with me now, to be honest. When I got that ticket for Stoneacres, it was a huge buzz. It's been a lake that I've wanted to fish for a long time. It's one of the few places in the UK that you're allowed to use a boat. And I know I had the golden ticket, which gave me access to some of the best looking carp in the UK. The two biggest ones in there, two linears, one known as No Name, the other known as Kev's, that have both been caught at over 50 pounds in recent times. Other than the great carp that it holds, the other thing that appealed to me about Stoneacres is it was renowned for being incredibly difficult. If you think about what's in there, you've got probably 40, 45 carp in around about 55 acres of water. These are old carp. They've been pressured by some of the best anglers for probably over 20 years. These carp have seen it all. If you can catch a handful in a season, you've done well. In fact, many people go all season, if not longer than that, without catching a single fish. I love a challenge. The bigger the challenge, the greater the reward. And I have never caught a 50-pound mirror. So not only does it have some incredible looking big carp in there that I would dearly love to catch, it has two potential PB mirrors in there, and I would love nothing more than to catch a 50-pound mirror from Stoneacres. So the plan obviously was to do a full lap this morning.
I mean, I've not been here for probably over a decade. Never fished here before, but a mate of mine did fish here a long time ago. But we did probably less than half a lap. We got to the far corner of the lake, and basically I've seen loads. Seen too much to ignore, so the plan has changed. I'm getting the kit, I'm loading the barra, I'm going around there, and they're that close to the bank that I can literally cast rigs to them, so I'm not even bothering with a boat. So, not exactly what I was expecting, you know, but the carp are there. I'm certainly not complaining. So we're going to quickly load this kit up, shoot round there, and yeah, get a couple of rigs in the zone, maybe a couple of zigs or something. Looks like the sun's going to come out today. I think the wind's due to swing into that corner, so we'll see what happens. Right, let's go fishing. The carp I had seen were in front of a swim known as Green Boat Corner. This is where my Stoneacres campaign was to begin. Might put one brown out. Not that I've ever caught on brown, but I do think they look quite good. A bit different, eh? A bit more subtle. A watery tap. I feel like I maybe need to put one out there before I tie the other zigs up, just to gauge the depth. I don't want to obviously have too many casts, but if I'm going to cast out there, I might as well cast one out there with a hook bait on it. Why did I decide to go in with the zigs? Well, they're a great spring tactic on any lake, but I had done a bit of research beforehand and I knew they were a very good tactic on here, and all of the big uns, especially Kev's, has been caught multiple times on zigs in the spring. It's just a great tactic for nicking bites when the carp are up and about, but not particularly eating bait. Good fishing. Lovely. Oh, carp. Carp. Little one right here. 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. One looks like a ghosty. A couple of them look pretty big, man. Like this is one here. It's literally just hovering under the surface, just lingering there. It's a big, long black. 5. There's 5 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're literally right here, probably 6 foot off these bushes. The ghosty looks pretty big, man. And there's one down there that's definitely bigger, like. They're literally like a foot under the surface. I feel like I need taller zigs on. Trying to pop a float up to the surface is so inaccurate, you're better off pulling it down to the lead. So the float was literally, the top of the float was just touching, when the tip of the rod was there, top of the float was just touching the surface. And then if you slowly walk back till it hits the lead, brings you to there, then obviously you've got to add the length of the float as well. So that is exactly how deep it is. There you go, little tip for you. Somebody told me that down Dinton a couple of years ago. So most people were dropping zigs with the boat. I'm not really sure why. I suppose it's because they like to put them out there and know they're not tangled. But I prefer to cast mine. I'm pretty confident that with the setup that I'm using that it's not going to tangle, and it's just a lot less disturbance. I could cast zigs exactly where I'd seen the carp without potentially spooking him with a boat. There's no weed in the lake in the spring. The water's gin clear. They've been fished for with boats for years, and I just believed that I had a lot more chance spooking them by going over the reds with a boat rather than just putting a lead on them. Right, so we're just coming into what will be my first night on Stoneacres, and we have seen loads today. The weather's been beautiful. We've seen carp showing this morning in front of here. We've not even done a full lap. We got sort of halfway round this morning at first light. Saw fish here straight away. We've seen fish in the corner to my right. So yeah, to be honest, I feel strangely confident. Got 4 zigs out there in the zone. We're seeing signs now. Let's see what happens. This is no carp corner this morning. Yesterday it was the dolly hole, now it's no carp corner. What are we going to do? We can't move on them because I think we've missed that opportunity. Right, judging by what they've done, they were here yesterday morning because there was no anglers up this end. Word got out that the fish was up this end. Now there's 4 anglers up this end. The carp are now showing where there's no anglers, but everyone's seen them. Everyone's going to move on them. So I need to go somewhere else and hope that they turn up there. You need to make a second guess, I reckon, as to where they're going to go. That's my theory anyway. We'll have them. We'll have them.
So, although I've not actually seen anything in front of this swim, it is blowing a southwesterly now, which is a fresh wind. Like yesterday it was sort of southeast southerly, which was into that corner where we were set up. And the fish we were seeing this morning, which were very long in front of me, 350, do seem to be coming this way. Like, whereas yesterday morning there was sort of a very brief window of shows, today they are consistently showing, but the weather is a lot better. You know, it's overcast, there's a bit of drizzle in the air. This wind's gradually picking up. So I'm just sort of guessing and hoping that they may well be coming this way. As I say, from where they were showing this morning, the shows that have been, you know, over the last hour or so definitely seem to be working their way down the lake. So hopefully they come this far. The zig setup I was using, starting off at the main line, I was using 15-pound tapered lung chuck. The reason I chose to use that line is not only does it cast incredibly well, with the tapered leader, it means that when casting big leads at range, the chances of cracking off are virtually eliminated. Also, I use 4-pound test curve rods, which are quite heavy. So rather than using a braided main line, the mono is just a little bit more forgiving when playing fish with those light hook link that are usually associated with zig fishing. At the lead end, I used a quick change hybrid lead clip with a naked tail rubber behind it and a 4-ounce tournament lead. Now the reason for such a heavy lead is A, to get the range, and B, it helps hooking the fish when using those zigs. You know, you are relying on the weight of that lead to hook those fish when zig fishing. On the opposite side of the lead clip, I had an anti-tangle sleeve and then a hook link, depending on the swim I was fishing, you know, usually 5 to 7 feet of 12-pound Guru N-gauge. At the hook end, I had a size 8 Kamakura wide gape. These are fantastic hooks when zig fishing. You know, the sharper the better, I believe, with zigs, because you really are relying on the fish, you know, hooking themselves against the weight of that lead. And you ain't getting no sharper than a Kamakura. I truly believe they are the best hooks you can use when fishing with a zig. It was set up with a little zigger liner with a bit of foam mounted on the back of the hook. Colour wise, I'd vary it, you know, but usually darker colours, black, black and white, black and red, brown, but usually, like I say, darker colours. And then added to that foam, I would always squeeze in a little bit of squid goo. Rather than soaking my foam in the goo, I prefer to just give it a squeeze on a hard surface before casting out, as that foam will naturally absorb the goo. And yeah, whether it makes that much of a difference, I don't know, but it's something I always do and has always served me well. So that's it then. 4 zigs out there. We've had a move, might only be 2 swims up the bank, but the wind has swung direction. It's picked up a bit today as well. I mean, the fish we saw this morning were a long way out in the middle, but as the days wore on, they do appear to be coming this way on the wind. So I'm hoping they come this far. It's the best we can do anyway, because the lake's pretty busy. There ain't many options.
in terms of moves. Feels pretty good. We'll see what happens. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Good man. Oh my God. Come on, the carp gods. Please. Please let us land this off. Please. Right, I don't know how far this is at, and it's going towards that buoy. Come on, please. He's pretty close now, actually. Oh my flipping God. That water cold, Rossett, or what? Your knee looks like it's shaking, mate. Yeah, here. It's weeded up at the minute. Oh, it's our pants then, I ain't gonna lie. Oh my God. Especially when everyone's watching. Like, oh my God. I literally just said I seen all this afternoon, man. Like set up in there on a whim, really. We're off mark. Oh my God. Hey! Cheers, mate. Oh, scales. They're in the van. I'll borrow that bike. Unless someone can lend me some. Or a sling. Oh, I'm so unprepared for this. I didn't bring scales or a sling because I didn't expect to get them. I told you it was good luck not to bring scales and a sling, didn't I? Oh. What else do we need? Water. I'll have to borrow that bike. Can I borrow someone's push bike to go and get scales and a sling? $29.8. $29.8? That'll do. That'll flipping do. Cheers for them, mate. I appreciate that. Well, there you go. Not a monster, but at 29 pounds and 8 ounces, this cool old common will certainly flipping do. We are off the mark. First trip, couldn't have asked for a better start. How about that? Yes! Very much. How's it going, mate? Hi. Thank you, mate. Cheers. Cheers for grabbing the boat, man. Appreciate that. Nice one, mate. Yes! Mate, feels good this morning. Seen 4 and 3 of them have been all over the rods. And the 4th weren't far away. Oh, there was one, there was one. A little bit long, that one, but it's still in the flipping zone. Come on, the carp. I've not seen 2 shows in the same place yet, which means they're spread. There's fish out here, you know. It's not like it's the same one, keep showing. They're out here. They are flipping here. Flipping it, that was one. Shuffles right out there. Sort of bit further than those two rods, but between them. What geese? Right, so I'm just freshening the 4 rods up for a recast. Well, in fact, this is the last rod. I've already cast 3 out. How I never caught one this morning, I'll never know. There were so many fish showing out in front of me here, you know, all over the zigs, but for whatever reason, I never got a bite. But never mind, as I say, I've just reeled in, been off to get some fresh water and that, few supplies. I'm just casting them back out for the final night. Unfortunately, the wind is swinging today. In fact, it's already started to swing, which I do think will move these fish, but it's the start of the bank holiday weekend. The lake's incredibly busy. There's not really any other options to move. I think I've just wiped goo on my forehead. But yeah, there's no options to move. So it is what it is. We'll chuck these back out and see what happens. That's it then. Rods are out. Let's put the kettle on. Right, no talking.
No talking, bit of swigging, bit of looking, bit of big carp. Action.
It's a tough job, this. On the 4th and final morning of that first trip, just when I thought that the chance of catching another had slipped by, I was surprised by an unexpected bite out of the blue. So I've not really seen a lot this morning. I've seen 1 or 2, but not really near me. In fact, to be honest, there was fish. There were 2 fish out to my left this morning. You could just see the dorsals breaking the surface at first light, which was odd because it's been freezing cold. But we've just had a bite, again out of the blue. And we're in. Cheers, mate. God. Yes, boys. Yes. How about that? That's a mirror. That'll do. Do you want tea or coffee, mate?
I'm alright, Thomas.
You're alright.
Someone else.
Right, there's a spare mug.
I was like, he's got calves. He was like, I've got to come round, it's a big one.
Oh, buzzy, man. The mirrors are the ones, aren't they? Like. It's a flipping great carp. Right, well, there you go. Final morning on my first trip and my second Stone Acres carp. Not only is it my second carp, it's also a mirror. These are what we came for. Look at that for a flipping carp. What an ending to the first trip. I can't flipping believe it. What a start. What a flipping start. Happy days. The following week I returned for my second trip. I arrived at first light to a total contrast in weather to the previous session. It was very wet and very windy. I managed to locate the carp pretty much straight away, showing in front of Big Point and Island Point, but unfortunately both swims were occupied. I decided to fish in the tit swim opposite, as I had seen the odd one in front of there, albeit very long, right out in the middle. As the evening approached, the wind calmed slightly and I managed to position 4 zigs at range in that central body of the lake. But unfortunately, that night and the following morning passed by uneventfully. That following day, the Island Point became free, so I wasted no time in packing up and getting round there, as this was my opportunity to get into one of those swims that commanded the area where the fish seemed to be held up.
Looks good out here, mate. Does look good.
Right, so I've just had a bit of a lead about, just out to the left, where I saw a few showing earlier. It's only short, 16 wraps. It's relatively weedy. It's not terrible. I'm getting drops there, but there is a little bit of low-lying weed, bit of silkweed there. But to be honest, I don't mind that. I'd imagine, you know, with it being a boat fishing lake, a lot of people are going out there and finding the best spots, you know, the gravel spots, etc., etc., you know, the clean areas. And I've caught fish in that kind of situation before over low-lying weed, so I think it could be quite edgy. But what I'm going to do is just put a float out there so I can visualise exactly where my rigs are going to be landing, and then I'm just going to bait to the float, only with a few baits. I'm going to try and throw and stick them out, but it is quite windy, so I've got a feeling I'll probably end up going out in the boat to do it. But I'm literally going to spread maybe 60 boilies around the float, a couple of choddies either side of it, and yeah, see what happens.
Despite catching them on zigs the previous trip, on this occasion I decided to go in with chods over a light spread of bait. Not only did the weather look better for a bite off the deck, I was worried about how well zigs would be presented in the big winds and undertow that comes with it. At least with the chods, I knew I would be fishing.
Oh, there was another one. Out there in the middle. I ain't convinced though by them shows out in the middle. You know, in the past, a lot of lakes I've fished in the past, fish love to show in the middle. Like, I just think they're decoy shows a lot of the time. Don't get me wrong, fish do get caught out there in the middle, but for the amount of rod hours that go into, you know, those shows out in the middle, I mean, obviously, I don't know this lake, I've only just started on here, but as I say, a few of the lakes I've fished in the past, for the amount of shows you see in the middle compared to rod hours, it just generally don't do a lot of bites. So yeah, decoy shows, them ones in the middle, I reckon, a lot of the time.
After the success of the first trip, unfortunately, that second session resulted in a blank for my efforts. The true reality of Stoneacres was beginning to set in. But little did I know what was just around the corner. My next opportunity came a couple of weeks later after seeing a few show out in front of Crow's Point. This was historically a great area for both Kevs and No Name, and having seen a few big fish show out there, I had that feeling that something special could happen. With both of them big uns being well due, it was all to play for.
Stakes are high tonight. This is prime Kev's end, but No Name's been caught from here as well, so they've all been caught from this swim. Like, this is most famous swim on the pond. This is Crow's Point. Like, they're literally out there now, swimming around them zigs. I've just got that feeling. They're out there.
Boys, I'm away. Might need that boat. I'm not even 100% sure if it's a carp. It's literally straight in weed. Oh, landing net. Cheers, mate. See you later, boys. Yes! Yes, boys! Boys, we're going to the pub. We are going to the pub. No name. No name. No. Boys, I've got one. I've got no name. I can't believe it. I've got no name. Oh dear. Right, I told you them big uns was due, didn't I? Oh. Right, I told you they was out there. But I could just see it in the weed. I got above it, it just popped up. I just scooped it up straight away. Scooped it up straight away. Boys, look at this fish. Look at this fish. Boys, look at that carp. Look at that carp. Oh, we are definitely going to the pub. How about that? 2 bleeps. We have just caught probably the rarest big one in the lake. Oh, yes. Let's sort this out. Let's sort this out. My head's gone. My head has totally gone. Right in the bloody scissors. Can't even get the hook out. Oh. Oh, let's just have a look at this fish. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Look at that, boys. Probably the best one in the pond. Look at that. Can you see that? Yes! Yes! Oh, it literally, I had 2 bleeps. Cheers, mate. Yeah, mate, literally, I got out there, as I got close, I could just see it wedged in the weed on the bottom, just sat there. And then literally, as I got above it, I just lifted it up through the water, it went like that and went, whoop, straight underneath it. I love carp fishing. No way. No way.
51.2, 51.4.
That'll flipping do. Can anyone say? Mate, 51 will do. Let's have a look. Oh no. That's a big carp, that is. That's a big carp. I'm absolutely speechless. What an incredible carp. Over 51 pounds of Oxfordshire Mirror. This is what we came to Stoneacres for. Thank you, mate. Here he goes. Yes! Whee! I'm buzzing. I am buzzing. What has just happened?
Catching No Name was such a huge buzz and it meant so much to me. You know, that type of campaign fishing for these type of carp is what I live for. I mean, don't get me wrong, since I've been with Korda, I've fished some great venues all over Europe and I've done some great fishing, but this is what I live for, this is what I breathe for, and Stoneacres was probably my biggest buzz since Burfield.
He's got it. It's a good one. He's got a good one. Fair play to the lad. He's got a good one. I can tell by his reaction. He's going off this morning. I think that's the 5th fish out this morning. He's got a good one, man.
After a couple of weeks away, I'm now back down Stoneacres. The reason I haven't been here for the last couple of weeks is because we had an underwater shoot up at Norton Disney. Me and Dan both fished, and I'm pleased to say that it went really well, and I did learn loads. I got back down here the other day. I actually got down here Tuesday evening after spending a couple of days with the family, and that evening I did find a few fish up the other end, just cruising around in the sun. Did a night with the rigs really close in where I'd seen a couple, but as it went dark, they just sort of drifted out. The following morning, I see a couple out here. I'm back in Crow's Point where I caught No Name from. Again, I'm pleased to say that the lake is a little bit quieter than when I was here last time. Obviously, it was so busy, there was no option to move, but thankfully, nobody was in Crows. I saw a few shows in this one specific area, quite close to the island. Went out there, moved around here early. I was in this swim by 8 o'clock yesterday morning. I sort of waited for the shows to subside, and about 10 o'clock I went out there. And although you're allowed to use 4 rods on this lake, I found 2 absolutely mega spots exactly where the fish had been showing. I was so confident in those 2 spots, I decided to just fish the 2 rods. The rods were only out for a few hours, and I managed to catch a mega mirror, one they call the Stumpy Leather, 32 pound 4 ounces. And I actually used some of the stuff that I learnt on underwater, you know, tied some completely fresh rigs when I got here, because as I say, we did learn a lot on the underwater. I'm not going to go into too much detail now. I will tell you more about the rigs at a later date. But I implemented some of what I learnt, and yeah, like I say, the rods had only been out a couple of hours, managed to catch one that was on the right-hand rod, sort of 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon, right in the heat of the day when you really wouldn't expect one. And then this morning, I got up early to a liner. I had a liner about 4:15, which woke me up. And over the next sort of couple of hours, I must have seen a dozen shows all over the rigs. I was literally sat here waiting for one of the rods to go. And yeah, about 6:30 this morning, the left-hander was away, and we have got a mega common in the net. It's one they call, well, it's one I believe they call the pinch belly. It's usually sort of mid to upper 30. So yeah, like I say, I'm not going to go into any more detail on the technical aspect of it now, but yeah, we'll get this fish out, and I'm going to show you this mega carp.
It's just shy of 37, 36.14.
Well, how about that from mega Stoneacres common? At just under £37, 36.14 to be precise. I do believe this is one they call the pinch belly. I may be wrong though, although I do think it's that carp. But yeah, obviously the first few I caught this spring were on zigs, so after a little break, a bit of time away from the lake, I'm so glad to come back and get a couple off the bottom. It is absolutely going off this morning. I think the lake's done 4 or 5 bites now, and the lad next door has just caught a common that is quite a bit bigger than this. So I'm gonna get this one back and we'll go around and see what he's got. Oh, cheers, what a carp that is. Catching one of those special old carp is an incredible moment as it is, but having everybody round to share the buzz, you know, everyone's in your swim, like everyone's as excited as you are to see these fish, only adds to that moment. You just don't get that kind of atmosphere on many places. You know, Stone Acres is a little bit different. Well, what a trip this has turned into. Obviously, Will caught that mega common yesterday. It was a PB common for Will, and it was actually a late record. We all had a few beers yesterday afternoon to celebrate, and I decided to stay the extra night. I shouldn't have really stayed last night. I've got to be off today. Like, I should have been off early this morning. In fact, I should have been off yesterday, but I decided to stay the extra night. I'm so glad I did, because this morning, I had a bite on the left-hand rod at first light. Bit of a tenchy bite, to be honest. It just pulled out the clip. When I came out the bivvy, the bobbin was still in the same place, but it was out the clip. And as I looked at the braid, I just saw the bobbin lift ever so slightly. And to be honest, I thought it was going to be a tench. Picked the rod up, gained quite a bit of line. It had obviously come back from the island, and then I felt a few head shakes. And I thought that feels like a carp to me. So I jumped in the boat, dragged myself out there. When I got above it, these big sheets of fizz came up amongst the weed, and up popped this incredible black carp. To be honest, it gave a little bit of a tussle on the surface, but very similar to No Name, it was in the net pretty much straight away. And I saw these scales across its back. It's got like these quite recognisable sort of random single scales dotted across the top of its flank, and straight away I thought that looks like baby choco to me. Got it back to the bank, and on closer inspection it was indeed baby choco.
Get ready. Hold the scale up and set this hold the side of that. I might have given them a better call. That's like 44.
You good? That's a flipping great carp, isn't it, that? Well, what a trip this has turned into. Final morning, and I've got what is without doubt one of the best fish in the lake. Baby choco at 44.14. Oh, I can't believe it. What a buzz, what a carp. I flipping love this lake. Look at that.
Boys, boys, boys. Lads, I'm in. Oh, carp, flipping carp. Let's go get the kit. Let's go. Let's go. Mate, I'm having another one tonight. Excuse my French. Just telling you what's about to go down.